Hello everyone, thanks for tuning into today's second video. Doing the extended European outlook for today's second video. So as always on a Tuesday, we're having a look at the weather for the next 30/42 days for the UK and for the rest of Europe as well. And I should get some of that for you in a moment. Just to say that first. The video today was our 6 AM UK weather forecast, and we've got 10 to 14 there with all of the regular features coming in later on this afternoon. So please like, share and subscribe on all of today's videos and content. And thank you so much everybody for doing that for GavsWeatherVids. Amazing, incredible. Thank you so much. And show us ecmwf.int for supplying the charts as well. So thank you so much, EC. Right, now let's have a look then. I'm going to start off with the week 1 mean sea level pressure anomaly, taking us from the 18th to 25th of December up to Christmas Day. So you're going to be a trough of low pressure across much of northern Europe with a ridge of high pressure out in the Atlantic. This low pressure digging into east parts of Europe as well. Wind flow jet stream coming in from off the Atlantic, a little bit like that. The 500 millibar height anomaly looks like this. So again, got below average heights in the North Atlantic into much of northern, central and west Europe. Some higher pressure is out to west and to the southwest of Europe. Temperature anomalies then this week looking like that. So colder than average to Scandinavia. Quite a cold week to come there, especially through Norway and Sweden. Although the Baltic Sea states of Latvia, Estonia, Lithuania and up towards Finland looking a little bit mild average there. Very mild through western parts of Russia, by the way. Then we have very mild weather through the UK, Ireland, into France, the Low Countries, Belgium, Holland, Netherlands, into Germany, and then from Poland eastwards into Belarus and Ukraine, down to the Black Sea as well. We also see significantly above average temperature, on 36 degrees above normal. Much of the east and southeast of Europe comes out mild now, so a mild winter company the Balkans, the Black Sea, down towards Greece and Turkey. Into the Med, we've got a little bit of an east-west split really, but it's really Spain, Portugal that's colder than average. The central bowl of Med just a little bit mild average, but it gets progressively warmer as we go over to the eastern side of the Med. So coldest weather this week is like Iceland into Scandinavia and then down to Spain and Portugal. Precipitation wise, we look like that, varying from area to area, so not varying too far from average really across Scandinavia, though Denmark does look quite wet. Ireland and the UK having rather above average rainfall, but looking particularly wet through the Low Countries into Germany and Poland. Actually very wet conditions through there. Down towards France, Spain, Portugal, it becomes a little bit drier, especially the further west and south you happen to go. And then into the Med, we can see that much of the central part of the Med, anyway, is looking relatively dry. Those dry conditions extending over the Adriatic into the Balkans as well. So between the Balkans and the Black Sea, largely dry through there. But we could have some showers kicking off through some of the Greek islands, perhaps. And also, interestingly, it looks very wet down towards northern parts of Africa. So while the Med actually is quite dry from Italy to Spain, down into North Africa, that's where we've got heavy showers and thunderstorms by the look of it. Okay, week 2 takes us through Christmas week. It's the 25th of December to the 1st of January. So remaining unsettled across northern Europe with a deep trough of low pressure through there. Low pressure back into western Europe as well and back into the Atlantic. Some higher pressure down towards Spain and Portugal. A little bit of a ridge up towards Greenland maybe. Wind still coming in from the west though. 500 millibar heights for week 2, looking like this, with below average heights again across much of northern and central west Europe. Higher pressure down towards the south and to the southwest. That leads to us bringing in the wind from the west a little bit like that. Temperature anomalies remain colder than average in the far north. So again, Denmark up to Sweden, Norway, over the Baltic Sea into Finland, and then south in towards Latvia, Lithuania and Estonia. looking a little bit cooler through there as well. Go further south, over that. Most other parts of Europe, mild average, so all the way from Ireland in west, right way over to Black Sea in the east, above average temperatures through there. Just turning a little bit cooler into Scotland, maybe, but Ireland, England, Wales is above average. Looks like temperatures pick up a little bit through parts of Spain as well. France looking pretty mild after the below country, Germany, at least into southern parts of Poland, mild average through there. And then around the Balkans again to Black Sea, above average temperatures in that area too. Precipitation-wise for week 2, wetter than average for the UK and Ireland, a wet Christmas week to come, and much of France, Germany, below country, especially northern parts of France, looking wet through there. Over onto the eastern side of Europe again, we see above average precipitation. When we come northwards to Scandinavia, it turns largely dry through the Nordic regions, although above average to the extreme north, that will all be snow, of course. And then southwards about mostly dry through the Med, especially the central and western portion of the Med, but even over into the eastern side of the Med looks rather on the drier side there. Week 3 will be the 1st to the 8th of January, New Year's Day to the 8th of Jan, and trough of low pressure over on the eastern side of Europe, just really covering most parts of Europe actually, so that looks like a very unsettled start to the new year. Hint of a bit of higher pressure up towards Greenland, but it looks quite weak, probably not enough to get the jet stream to the far south and bringing much away of cold air. We'll see in a moment with temperatures though. 500 millibar height showed a big chopper below average heights covering many parts of Europe, some higher pressure up towards Greenland. How are the temperatures looking? So gradually turning colder, especially across northern Europe. Looks like it's a very cold start to the new year there, from Iceland through the Norwegian Sea to Norway, Sweden, and over the Baltic Sea to Finland as well. Really cold through there. Further southwards, well, the UK and Ireland showing a little bit of a cool down, still a bit above average in the south, but near normal or no signal further north. But most other parts of Europe then looking relatively mild, so if we draw a line through there, anywhere south of that line through here, with above average temperatures of about 1 to 3 degrees right away from France, Spain and Portugal, all the way over to the Black Sea and southwestern parts of Russia. Southwestern Russia seeing temperature at around 3 to 6 degrees above average there. And as far as precipitation goes, well, you can see it's starting to turn drier up to the north. This might be indicative of some higher pressure beginning to build in the North Atlantic and up towards Greenland and Iceland. We do see drier conditions through there. So otherwise, it's quite wet though, really, across most parts of Europe, from the west all the way over to the east, particularly centering around eastern France into the Low Countries and into Germany as well. Also around the Black Sea. South of that, well, we're losing the signal a little bit, but looks rather on the drier side through much of the Med. Week 4 takes us to the 8th to the 15th of January, possibly seeing that higher pressure signal strengthening a little bit more up towards Greenland and Iceland. Trough of low pressure again in the east of the northeast Europe. The signal is weakening because we're going further out now, of course. 500 millibar heights, suggesting a little bit of a mid-Atlantic ridge, could extend up towards Greenland. Trough of low pressure through here. So like classic negative NAO type pattern though, because I've got some ridging down towards southern France, Spain and Portugal. If we want a real classic sort of cold pattern for northern Europe, we need to get rid of that ridge and send this low and the jet stream in that direction. So temperature noise week 4 look like that. Still colder than average across the far north of Europe. Again, particularly focusing on the Scandinavian and Nordic regions into the northwest of Russia. Otherwise, average or slightly above average temperature noise really in most places. Notice this started to get a little bit milder again into southern parts of England and also into Ireland as well. That's just indicative of the fact we haven't got a classic negative NAO pattern despite raising the heights to the north. We need to get rid of that ridge down towards Spain and Portugal if we're going to turn things, wintry widely. No precipitation anomaly again. You see it's driving than average in the North Atlantic, so that is indicative of higher pressure up here. Wetter than average through many parts of Europe and out into the Atlantic. But notice it's still drier than average through the Med and down towards North Africa. That's because of that area of high pressure. So for a proper cold pattern, the Northern Europe want to see all of this rain here going into the Med. And if we do that, then that will signal that the jet stream has gone south, and we will then start to be able to open the door to those colder, northerly easterly winds across northern and also Western Europe. Right, that's your 30-day. Okay, done and dusty, Bo. So let's just have a look at weeks 5 and 6 before we go. So week 5 will be the 15th, 22nd of January. Now, that's raising the pressure even more towards Greenland. I think that's got to be starting now, December jet stream southward. So incrementally, week by week, it looks like this particular EC run wants to get us more and more in towards a cold pattern as we go further on through January. Week 5, 500 millibar heights, again, suggesting blocking in the North Atlantic towards Greenland. Low pressure towards the northeast. Notice the high pressure now starting to be flattened off in towards North Africa. So I think that is an indication that the jet stream now is starting to go in that direction, which, as I've just explained, would allow the wind to start going into a colder northeasterly. Temperature anomalies look very cold, look cold across Northern Europe, otherwise mild through Southern Europe. Bit of a cool down going on across most central, northern and western regions, I think. Precipitation, so we can see that the wetter weather is beginning to extend down towards Spain and Portugal. Interesting, driving average up here. That's indicative of the blocking. Right, and week 6 will be the 22nd, 29th of January. So then we still have some sort of higher pressure in the North Atlantic, but a little bit weaker with the signal. Some high pressure down towards North Africa as well. Very weak signal by this point as we're 6 weeks out. 500 millibar height, suggesting, if anything, there might be a bit of a ridge building through the Atlantic into Western Europe. The temperature anomaly starting to turn a little bit milder. Through Western Europe, still looking cold for Scandinavia and Nordic regions. And largely precipitation looks like that. So, very weak signal. Dry into central part of the Med and a little bit wetter further north. I don't think we want to take that too seriously. So quite an interesting update from the EC extended on this week today. So we're starting off with a very mild crisp. It's going to be very mild up to the new year and also unsettled away from the far north anyway. So Scandinavian, Nordic regions, if you get section with this, because it looks cold from beginning to end up there really. So the long cold winter that started back in November continues, if this is right, for Scandinavia and Nordic regions. But elsewhere, very mild over Christmas to New Year, then gradually getting colder as January progresses and that high pressure builds towards Greenland, sending the jet stream southwards and allowing colder air to start digging in from the north and from the northeast. Now, just a snapshot of what the model is showing. It could look completely different when we look at this again on Saturday morning with a UK and Ireland focus. So, as I say, just a snapshot, but that's what it's showing today. Now, it's not going to be an extended EC 30-day forecast next week because here in the UK it's Boxing Day. Don't worry, it has nothing to do with boxing. We won't be going around hitting one another. But I think it's St. Stephen's Day, isn't it? So yeah, I always cut the videos back a little bit from Christmas week anyway. So no extended European outlook next week. It'll be back 2 weeks today. 2 weeks on Tuesday, which I think will be the 2nd of January. That's right, isn't it? Yeah, it'll be the 2nd of January. No, we'll see how things are looking in the new year. So this one, though, that's all for now. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, subscribe if you've enjoyed the video and podcast. We'll be back shortly with a 10 to 14 dayer, so come back for that in a bit. But for this one, that's all for now. And thanks for watching.